up, YouTube? Today we're talking about the FR Wish collaboration frame. So the Wish frames have always been really good flat frames for high-low frames, and then FR has always made some pretty good skates and stuff, especially for big wheeling. And they collaborated and made this awesome flat frame. So it's not a high-low frame. It's a traditional, it's made for 60 millimeter wheels, and it's just a nice flat frame, but it has a similar groove to the Wish medium frame. And I personally think that I think it's kind of the best flat frame that there is, the best one that I've experienced. And let's talk about why. So to start off, the reason they made it all four wheels the same size instead of a high-low frame is, yes, you can't have as big of a groove in H-block as the high-low frame, but the high-low frames are really, really tall, which makes it really, really hard to get boot down and do some other stuff on. So they they kept the similar shape and design, but made the H-block a little tighter. They made it lower to the ground, and I think that it's really awesome. Because before, the only skates that I would recommend skating a high-low Wish frame on would be something like the SL or the Blank Team skate or Blank SK skate, because they have such deep channels recessed into it that it makes up for the frame being so high. But this frame is only like 1 millimeter taller than a ground control Featherlight 3, which is like your standard anti-rocker frame, and it's a pretty low frame. And this is barely taller than it. So this frame is, you can put on any skate. The H-block is going to be a little taller than an anti-rocker frame. So if you're coming from any other anti-rocker frames, you are going to have to work harder to get boot down and maybe a tiny bit harder to get topside. But if you're coming from any other flat frame, this thing is going to feel like a dream. Like, you're really going to like it. It's one of the only flat frames I'm able to do switch farbs and switch torques in, which I thought was really cool. Royales and everything felt the same. It is still skating flat though, so you still can get wheel bite. I didn't get wheel bite very often, but certain things like doing quick switch ups and stuff, you have to be a little more focused than on, like, say, Create Originals or Featherlight 3s, which I usually skate anti-rocker. So yeah, you do have to be a little more focused, and it's not cautionless flat skating. But for someone like me who doesn't skate flat very often and doesn't have that experience or that precision, I was able to adjust to them fairly quickly. Top sides were fine, farbs and royales were fine. Was even able to switch royale, which is really hard for me to do on flat frames, and it was really fun. This is the 260 millimeter length. I believe it comes in a 241, a 260, and then a 275. So there's some pretty good size options. I'm really stoked they made a 260 because not enough frame companies make a 260 frame. So great job on that, Wish. I think more companies need to take notes and do that, because I think a 260 frame size is, for the most part, missing. But yeah, so the sizing's awesome. H-block's good and awesome. They have these, like, it's kind of like a cone shape, but there's like 2 levels of it. So it really guides you when you start getting boot down. It really guides you and kind of clicks in. It's got a good amount of wheel protection here. There's a good gap of plastic between the groove in your wheels. But yeah, the only time I had any frustrating times was I was skating at the Provo Skate Park in Utah, and they have a sea ledge there that it's a square sea ledge, but it's like kind of like square rounded, and it has like that really crappy, like almost aluminum type metal on it. So I don't really love that park as it is. And then, but that like weird rounded, because on like normal square ledges, like real square angle iron or anything round that like goes into the groove nice and smooth, it just locks in and you go, and I didn't have any problem. But for some reason at that park, it was really hard to get this frame to lock and do what I wanted. Like switch ups and stuff felt really just kind of sloppy. I felt like I was just like swerving around. I couldn't get things to lock the way I wanted to. But on every other obstacle I skated, other than that park's crappy angle iron ledges that are like rounded angle, I don't know how to explain it. Those ledges suck. I hate them. Sorry, Adam. Some of my buddies think it's like the best ledge ever. I think it sucks. But so that's the only place I didn't have like an amazing time. Other than that, other than getting wheel bite a couple times, this thing almost felt as good as anti-rocker to me. And I did have to work a little harder to get boot down on royales and stuff, but it was no sweat. It was fine. The skates I did skate these on where I skated them on my Rossi's Fifth Elements and my Razors SLs, which are the two skates I've spent the most time in and I'm most used to. So if I was able to find something wrong with this frame, it would be on one of those pairs of skates. And I didn't. It skated great on both of those skates. So yeah, let me know if you have any other questions in the comments. Let me know if you agree or disagree with what I said. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. That was the Wish FR collab frame. Have a good one.